Hi everybody, Dr. Mike here. In this video, I want to talk to you about the role of exercise on the cardiovascular system and more specifically focus on blood pressure and talk about the fact that evidence is now coming out in the literature to highlight that certain modalities of exercise, more specifically exercise like high intensity interval training, training like CrossFit tends to have the best effects in reducing blood pressure in hypertensive individuals. So the first thing I want to talk about is what blood pressure is. Blood pressure is the amount of force that the blood puts on the walls of your arteries. And if you go to the doctors, they'll put a cuff around your arm, they'll measure the pressure in your brachial artery, and they usually give you two values. These values usually are on average 120/80. And it's usually measured in something called millimeters of mercury, which I'll talk about that in just 1 second. Now, what this is representing is 120 is when your heart contracts. So here's the left-hand side of your heart. When that contracts to push blood out into your arteries, these arteries are going to stretch. Now, this stretch is the maximal stretch on the walls of the arteries from the contraction of the heart, and that's what we call systole. So the first value is known as the systolic value. It's the maximum pressure in your arterial system. The second value, the bottom value, is what we call the diastolic reading. And what that's telling us is when your heart relaxes. So when the heart relaxes, remember, there was a stretch in the arterial wall from systole. When the heart relaxes, the stretch recoils and snaps back to continue to push blood through. So that's the lowest pressure, and that's the diastolic reading. Now, why do we use millimeters of mercury? Simply because in the early studies, they connected our arteries up to a tube, which went to a little cylinder, and that cylinder had mercury in it, and they went to see how much that mercury was displaced when the heart contracted and relaxed. And it displaced 120 millimeters at the strongest contraction, systole, and 80 millimeters at diastole, or relaxation. So, but you could use water or anything like that. All right, now, because when the heart contracts, it's going to contract, relax, the blood pressure is going to go up and down, and then when the arterial system branches, the blood pressure is going to drop. It's really hard to know what the average pressure is, but we can calculate the average pressure, known as the mean arterial pressure, or the MAP. And the mean arterial pressure is easy to calculate. It is simply the diastolic pressure plus 1/3 of the systolic pressure minus the diastolic pressure. Sounds complex, but it's super easy. Diastolic pressure we know is 80 plus 1/3 of 120 minus 80, which is 40. So 1/3 of 40 is around about 13. 80 plus 13 is going to give us 93. So the average is 93 millimeters of mercury. That's the mean arterial pressure. 93 millimeters of mercury. So that means right here, 93 millimeters of mercury, the average pressure. Now, the other thing is this. The heart's going to contract and relax and push blood out. Now, every minute, the heart pumps out 5 liters of blood every minute. We actually call that the cardiac output. And as you can see, I've got the equation for blood pressure here. Cardiac output is one of them. I'll get to systemic vascular resistance in a sec. So 5 liters a minute coming out of the heart. Now, the blood vessels, they branch, and they're going to deliver, they're going to basically say, okay, the heart, you get this much of the 5 liters, the brain, you get this much, gut, you get this much. How does it distribute it? Well, basically, the coronary vessels get around about 5% of that 5 liters. The brain gets around about 15%. The gut gets around about 25%. The kidneys get around about 20%. Muscles get around about 20%. And the skin gets around about 5%. That's how it distributes it. Now, we're talking about exercise. Muscles at rest get 20% of the 5 liters. So that means 1 liter per minute at rest of blood is going to your muscles at rest. What this ends up being is around about 3 mils of blood per minute per 100 grams of muscle tissue at rest. Now, let's just say you're about to do some exercise. You start to contract those muscles. When you contract the muscles, you start to use oxygen, you start to use energy, mainly in the form of glucose. So that means the demand for those things go up. Now, where do we get these things? We get them from the blood. So we now need to increase that 1 liter per minute up. We need to increase the 3 mils per minute per 100 grams. It needs to go up. How do we do it? There are little receptors at the muscle tissue that travel to the brain. stimulate something called the sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system, which is known as our fight and flight system. It gets activated in times of fear or stress to keep us alive in that moment. And so this gets stimulated in the brain and it sends neurons down, and these neurons are going to go to the blood vessels. And what they do is they tell certain blood vessels to constrict and certain blood vessels to dilate. This is what we call systemic vascular resistance. Think about it like this. If you've got a tube of a particular diameter, right? So that's the diameter of the tube. We've got blood going in. There's going to be a certain amount of resistance that blood's going to encounter because it's going to hit the walls of the vessel as it moves through. All right? Now think about it like this. If I were to increase the diameter of that vessel, relax it, so now it's this big, there's less resistance, right? More blood can move through without being impeded by the walls of the vessel. So the resistance drops. If the resistance drops, drop resistance, it's an equation for blood pressure. If you drop one value, blood pressure is going to drop. If you constrict the blood vessel, make it really narrow, there's heaps of resistance. The blood backs up, and the resistance goes up. If the resistance goes up, blood pressure goes up. So what I'm saying is, constrict the blood vessel, blood pressure goes up. All right, keep that in mind. So what's happening here? Sympathetic nervous system innervates certain blood vessels to constrict. What it does is it tells the coronary arteries, tells them to dilate. We need more blood going to the heart, so it relaxes. The brain, it relaxes. The gut, it constricts. So we're stopping blood supply going to the gut. That's 25%. 25% of our cardiac output is no longer going to the gut anymore. The kidneys, it constricts a little bit. The muscles dilate significantly. The skin constricts significantly. So we've got mainly from the gut, from the skin, 30% of our blood being redirected now mainly to the muscle tissue. And this increases this 1 litre per minute to around about 20 litres per minute in intense exercise. 20 litres of blood per minute just going to our muscles. That in an athlete, times 50, times 25 to 50, so you can actually get 200 mils per minute per 100 grams of muscle tissue of blood going to that area. Now what the sympathetic nervous system is doing, it's telling those that are dilating, like the muscle tissue, right? It's telling it to dilate, and it's doing this by increasing the amount of adrenaline, also known as epinephrine, noradrenaline, known as norepinephrine. It's increasing the amount of nitric oxide in blood vessels. This tells it to relax. Increases the amount of prostaglandins, which is another chemical that tells blood vessels to relax as well. Really important. And what happens is this. The sympathetic nervous system also goes to the heart, and it increases the contraction of the heart, increases the heart rate of the heart. So, for some blood vessels, you get an increase in systemic vascular resistance, you get an increase in the heart rate, an increase in the contractility, which means more blood gets pumped out, increases that cardiac output, how much blood gets pumped out per minute, significantly increasing blood pressure. So during exercise, your blood pressure goes up. Your mean arterial pressure of 93 millimeters of mercury will go up and up and up and up. And in some cases, it can go up to 170 millimeters of mercury. That's the average. That is extremely high. Now, for people with hypertension, you're probably thinking, well, hypertension is if you've got chronically elevated blood pressure. So it's not at this, at rest. It can be something above this. So it may be anywhere above 140 over 90, anywhere above that, hypertension, if taken over time. So how can stimulating this, increasing blood pressure during exercise, be beneficial for people with hypertension? Well, what happens is this. Once you finish exercise, you get a reflexive drop in the sympathetic nervous system. So you get a drop in adrenaline at rest. You get a drop in noradrenaline at rest, but you get a maintained increase in nitric oxide, a maintained increase in prostaglandins, and these two things together tell blood vessels to relax and dilate. What that will do at rest is drop the systemic vascular resistance. Heart output will be normal, contractility will be normal, but blood vessel resistance is reduced, so it's easier for blood to move through, blood pressure is lower, and this is how people with hypertension can benefit from increasing their blood pressure during exercise.